activity.
Less than 24 hours now, the so-called Doomsday Mom, convicted killer Lori Vallow Daybell, will be sentenced here in Arizona for 2 counts of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder.
And one of those counts for the attempted killing of her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. In a rare interview, he sat down with the I-Team's Erica Stapleton to discuss what it's like surviving Lori Vallow Daybell. Erica?
Rachel, Brandon Boudreaux is the only living victim from all of these cases, or as he calls himself, a survivor. Back in October 2019, Brandon, who used to be married to Lori's niece, survived a shooting attempt. Investigators believe Lori's brother shot at Brandon and missed his head by inches. Brandon was key in not only helping investigators connect the dots in his own case, but in all of Lori Vallow Daybell's other murder cases. Vallow Daybell has already been sentenced to life in prison in Idaho for the murders of her children, Tylee and JJ, and for her role in the death of Tammy Daybell, her current husband Chad Daybell's first wife. She was also convicted in Arizona for conspiring to kill her former husband, Charles Vallow. That sentencing will be Friday, too. Brandon said his faith has helped him in all of this, and that forgiveness is part of his process.
It's easy to give a blanket statement like, yeah, I forgive, but if we're really being authentic with ourselves, I think it's a little more complicated than that. The desire of my heart is not to carry all of that with me the rest of my life. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that would be the best version of myself that my kids or my wife deserve. When people do the things that happened here with murder and attempted murder and theft and all these things, like, it hurts, it's painful, and it creates a lot of bad feelings, and so you have to let go of those feelings to go have the other feelings that you want to have in your life.
And after Lori Vallow Daybell was convicted for trying to kill him, he said he wanted to go back to anonymity, but then changed his mind. As you guys saw, he sat down with us, but he's also working on a few other things. He's writing a book. He said he thinks that's the best way to try and give his children his part of this story here. And then he's also working on a podcast project, a media company, with Lori Vallow Daybell's only living child, Colby Ryan. So the two of them have kind of bonded over this experience now that all these trials are over, and they are hoping that their conversations, and they're hoping to bring people on to talk with them, will help others heal from trauma as well. So certainly a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward thinking from those guys.
Did he have a sense that something was wrong with Lori? I mean, before all this stuff happened, or was she normal before all this stuff went down?
You know, what we have uncovered in our reporting, Troy, is that Charles Vallow, so Lori's fourth husband, his conviction, he died back in 2019. She's also been convicted for conspiring to kill him. That's part of the sentencing tomorrow, and I'll give you those details on what we're expecting in just a moment. But he was the one that really raised some red flags. He told police, he said, hey, she's having some of these dark beliefs. We did speak to Brandon about a lot of those beliefs, calling the children zombies and just concerns over people being light and dark and her being maybe more powerful than the average human. So those are some things that did come up, but I don't think anyone could have expected what ultimately would happen. But what we do know is Brandon was really key in helping investigators from Idaho to Arizona connect all of the dots here. And we are expecting him, plus a lot of his family members, to speak out at the sentencing tomorrow. That's starting at 9 a.m. local time. I will be in the courtroom. We're expecting it to take at least a few hours to get through those victim impact statements, but that's the plan.
And we've seen the contentious moments between Lori and the judge as she was representing herself in these two cases here in Arizona. So what do you anticipate from the judge as far as punishment goes?
You know, as you said, Rachel, yeah, it was certainly a lot of back and forth over the course of these trials. As you guys know, Lori Vallow Daybell, she represented herself, which certainly made for some memorable moments in the courtroom, and also traumatic ones for the people who have survived over this time, who have been going to these
because they had to watch her again, be the center of attention, which it seems like that's what she wants.
And she had different attitudes when the jury was present versus when she was just talking to the judge. So it was certainly different. But we're expecting, there's not going to be a surprise about what the sentence will be here. If you're convicted of murder conspiracy in Arizona, it is life with possibility of parole after 25 years. But of course,
she's already serving life.
She's not going to have that opportunity, because after this is done on paper, we're expecting she will be extradited back to Idaho to serve life in prison there. So it really just sends a strong message, I think, to have these convictions and sentencings on paper.
Absolutely.
But
Erica,
she left so much damage in her wake.
Yeah, in the
Lives
wake, right?
lost, young children murdered. It's an awful case. Thank you, Erica, for the coverage.
And she's going to have live coverage, as she said, tomorrow as Lori Vallow Daybell sentencing kicks off. That's going to be starting at 8:30 a.m. on Today in AZ on 12+. Again, Erica's going to be in the courtroom bringing us live coverage throughout the day. We'll be streaming that sentencing for you and have extensive coverage on the hearing as that wraps up. That's all tomorrow on 12 News and 12+.